Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Grape fam. Thank you for tuning in on the weekly update. It's 5th August, and at the moment, we will start with stats like every time. We will start with the price of grape. At the moment, grape's price is sitting at $0.71. We seem to have found a new bottom of $0.7. There has been quite a few sells from grape notes, but it seems to have slowed down. We saw some buys coming in after the low of $0.7. But it looks like grape has found its bottom at $0.7. Now let's talk about what is happening with wine. Wine's price is sitting at $69.24. Nice. We have seen from time and time again that when grape falls below peg, wine also dumps with it. So you can say that there is a correlation between two of these assets. Some of the updates coming might help with the repeg and of course with price appreciation of wine. Of course, I'll talk about the updates in this video. For those of you who don't know, limit orders on grape and wine can be placed on Boxed Finance, which is index aggregator. Let's take a look at the TVL of Grape Finance. Currently, it's sitting at $5.8 million. It's down a bit, of course, since the prices of both the assets like grape and wine are down. We should see an increase in TVL when the price of the assets increases. Now, let's talk about the winery collection and the Winters NFTs. The floor price of winery collection is sitting at 6.5 AX, and the floor price of Winters collection is sitting at 1.18 AX. The floor price on both of these collections is down a bit, but it can be a good buying opportunity if you ask me. Let's take a look at the price of vintage, which is the game token of winemaker. The price is sitting at $0.01 at a liquidity of 6.4k. The price of the vintage is down a bit, but that is what is to be expected because it is a game token. And we have to remember that the grape is the priority here. But worry not, the dev should bring in some updates soon. We saw a very successful launch of the Play to Earn game, which took a massive amount of grape out of circulation. Because of the game, we saw a reduction in the circulating supply of grape. Before the game launched, the circulating supply of grape was sitting close to at 5.1 million tokens. But because of the game, the circulating supply has reduced to 4.9 million tokens. So I think we can safely conclude that the game is working as intended and it has been helping grape. Next up is a small UI update by our very own UI wizard Taz, who also happens to be a mod in the Grape server. On the homepage of Grape Finance, you can now see strategies for grape and wine, nodes, vineyard, and winery. We also have a grape news section to know what's happening in the background. It now displays a number of how many grapes have been burned by the winemaker game. Now, if you're one of those guys that would like to geek out on the stats of Grape Finance, then I would suggest you to go to this section. Go to useful links and go to stats. All the info like PEG, the prices of grape and wine, the APRs of farms and pools, and the total TVL of those farms and pools are displayed here. Let's talk about a few updates that were launched in the winemaker game by the developer. The first and the most important thing is that you can now earn wine on your S vintage. All you have to do is go to the winery, take your S vintage from the winemaker, and stake here. Our developer LB, who never sleeps by the way, also updated the storage skills on winemaker. Please go through the announcement to see more. Moving on, you would see that the daily APR of Grape Walrus LP notes has increased to 1.88%. It is because the founder of Walrus, Lame Hillbilly, was nice enough to donate us 50k Walrus, which were then paired with Grape to boost the nodes. Alright, now let's do a recap of what was talked in the last AMA. First and foremost, let's talk about the winemaker game because there were lots of suggestions and questions surrounding that. So LB mentioned that like every other game out there which releases updates in the form of DLCs, I'm sure most of the gamers will be familiar with that word, Winemaker 2 will come out with updates. New features will be added to keep the game exciting. Team will be testing and experimenting stuff with the game. Like every other game, some aspects of the game will be nerfed and some boosted. One thing LB mentioned was worth noting is that if the WinePress for wine succeeds, then he might also create one for vintage, which in turn should deepen the liquidity for vintage, thereby making the price of vintage stable. If you have any more questions regarding WineMaker, then please check the WineMaker Stats channel in the Discord. Let's talk about what was talked in the AMA regarding nodes. Now you may have seen talks regarding version 2 of nodes in the chat. LB is still designing the version 2 of nodes and will look around DeFi for what's working and what's not working to be included in the version 2. Of course, older nodes will be migrated to version 2 when launched. He also said that the APR will be individually variable, which means that you may get higher APR if you compound more than you claim, and lesser APR if you claim more than you compound. Also, you might generate returns now by claiming and selling, but you are just hurting yourself in the long run. Regarding version 2, there has been no timeline shared, but LB mentioned that it will be a priority, and Grape Finance team always believes in quality over rushing. Some info regarding WinePress was also shared in the AMA. For those of you who don't know, WinePress will be Grape's version of very successful and long-running EMP's detonator. WinePress will be launched to deepen liquidity of wine. You'll be able to stake wine meme and earn 1% off of that daily. Of course, there will be daily largest winner, daily random winner, and you will be able to purchase lottery tickets with Grape token, which is also another use case for the Grape token. And lastly, we now have a new Grape server because LB's old account was banned by Discord, which also happened to be the owner of the old server. So the new server was created by the wonderful mod team and is being beta tested by the OGs of the community. Don't worry, this old server will not be shut down. Once the new server is open for everyone, you will be able to migrate to there. As always, stay tuned for the next update. Bull or bear market, price up or down, and no matter who stays or leaves, Grape Finance will continue to build. Make sure to subscribe and thanks for tuning in. Peace.